welcome to my third episode of Books and Baking, and this time it's finally gonna be in English. I'm making a banana bread today as kind of like a Corona special. I know everybody's making banana bread and everyone else is making fun of it right now, but I thought why not, and I made up my own recipe right here. I'm gonna write down the ingredients for you later in the video. Yes, and what I usually do, I have some cups and stuff here, a scale, because I'm doing European measurements, so in grams and milliliters. And yeah, I'm gonna measure all my ingredients, and then before I mix them up, because that's just the way I work. Yeah, I'm using a KitchenAid, well, not a real original one because I'm poor, but a fake KitchenAid machine, which makes it a lot easier for me to bake. So I have because I have my hands free to do anything else. I'm using very ripe bananas. You can always tell by the blackness. The blacker the bananas are, the sweeter your banana bread is gonna be. I have neutral oil, sunflower seed oil in my case, and I need 80 milliliters of that. So you can substitute the oil for basically everything fat. You could use butter or coconut oil maybe. I use sunflower seed oil because it doesn't have like a taste on its own. Next is the sugar. I always use brown sugar because apparently it's healthier. So I'm using 100 grams of this. If you don't want any sugar at all, you can substitute again with maple syrup if you want to go vegan, or honey. You can also just take another banana because they're really sweet too. I use 2 eggs. If you want to do the banana bread vegan, you just go for anything that substitutes eggs, which could be dates or chickpea water. If you stir it long enough, it's gonna be like this fluffy egg white kind of thing. Yeah, whatever you want to use. Next is 200 grams of flour. I'm usually not using white flour because, again, of health reasons. If you want to do this recipe gluten-free, you can also just use any other flour. Just make sure that you get the amount right, because, for example, if you use coconut flour, you don't need as much because coconut flour just makes the end result very heavy, but you can just look it up on the internet. Next is 1 whole pack of baking powder. I'm just gonna leave that in here. A pinch of salt. I always have this little bowl where I just mix all those little things like salt and cinnamon or whatever I need. I'm using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, that's the thing, you can substitute or just not do at all. Another optional thing that I'm going to put in my recipe is poppy seeds. I still have them from my Easter baking, and you never really use poppy seeds, so I thought, why not? I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon. Other stuff you could also add would be chia seeds or hemp seeds or linseeds, basically everything seed. The amount is also totally up to you. My favorite thing to mix with bananas is vanilla. I put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Next would be nuts. Basically, you can have your choice of nuts. What you need will be a cutting knife, something to cut on. I use walnuts because I just have them. But you could also use pecans or hazelnuts or no nuts at all if you're allergic. Totally up to you. I'll measure 60 grams and then I'm gonna chop it. I think it's always nice to have something to bite on, so I'll just do a rough cutting here. Next on the list is chocolate. If you don't want to use chocolate, it's totally up to you. I just love chocolate, that's why I'm using it. I have those chocolate drops, which are in America, I know, or Canada, very common. I use like 60 grams, Let's see how much this is, because this is kind of like the leftover from something I did. Yeah, I thought so. That's not enough. That's not a problem because I still have actual chocolate. Just gonna chop this and yeah, use that. So chocolate again is something you can substitute if you, like I said, if you don't want to have it at all, don't use it. If you want to use white chocolate, if you want to use whatever, dark, anything chocolate you can put in here. You don't even have to put it inside the bread if you don't feel like, or if you feel it's going to be too sweet. You can just drizzle it on top, whatever you want to do. So I guess we have everything together now, and yeah, let's mix it all up. I'm gonna start with the bananas. I'm removing this, makes it easier. Like I said, the bananas should be very ripe, and the riper they are, the softer they get, which makes it easier for you to smash them. Yeah, I'll just use a fork and mash the bananas. If your bananas are not very ripe, you can actually put them in the freezer for a few hours and in the microwave after. And then they're gonna be a little gross, but very soft. I love bananas. This is how the bananas should be looking after being mashed. After I'm done mashing the bananas, I'm adding everything else. I'm waiting with the nuts and the chocolate because they are pretty big and I don't want to like destroy the machine. And also the flour. The flour is something that I always add in the end. So I'm turning this thing on. As soon as I'm done mixing everything together, I'll remove this. And I'll take a wooden spoon and just mix once more. And then I'll add the nuts and the chocolate. If you don't have a machine like this, don't worry about it. It will be just fine if you use anything, a fork or whatever you have. So this smells really good and looks really good. Now I need a baking form. Okay, so this is my form. I use a basic bread form. I at home usually have this baking spray. My mom doesn't have that, so I'm just using my sunflower seed oil again. Just a little bit. And some paper towels. And get everything covered to make sure the bread doesn't stick. I think this form is probably from the 80s. I'm just gonna put my dough in here now. It smells like a banana milkshake. Really nice. Okay, let's talk about topping. You can top this with anything. So if you have more bananas that need to go, or chocolate chips, like I said earlier, you don't have to put it in the dough, you can just drizzle it on top. Or actually what I like is blueberries. I have some leftovers and I'm just gonna toss them on top. You can also use nuts or whatever you have. Maybe that's enough? No, that's not enough. Can never have enough blueberries. I also think that banana bread is kind of like a leftover food kind of thing. So like I said, you can substitute so much, you can like leave stuff out or add stuff. It's just perfect. You can have everything that you have left over, just toss it in there. Just make sure you have a base like flour or an eggs or baking powder, so it's doing something, but basically whatever you like. So my banana bread is in the oven now at 180 degrees Celsius. So you gotta convert that yourself. For about 50 minutes. My mom's oven is not very reliable concerning the actual temperature, so I'm setting my alarm to like check on my banana bread for like, I don't know, every 10 to 15 minutes, just to make sure it's not burning. But yeah, if you have a good oven, it should be a solid 50 minutes. And yeah, while this is in the oven, I'm eating blueberries and also cleaning everything. Good thing about being at my mom's is that she has a dishwasher, so I don't need to worry too much about doing the dishes. Yay! Okay, so this is the end result and I'm very happy. It smells so good. Okay, so I'm using a knife to kind of cut the edges. Okay, let's see how this works. Perfect. Okay. Well, it's soft. It's not burned as I thought it might be. It tastes really good. And I'm just gonna cut it up to see how it looks from the inside. Okay, so as I'm cutting, I can feel that it's still really soft. To not destroy it, I would recommend to like cool it down completely. Mine is still a little warm. It looks really nice from the inside. You can see the little nuts and some of the blueberries found their way down. Okay, I'm very happy with the outcome of my banana bread. It's really moist and looks really good, and yeah, I'm just gonna try. It's really good. You should definitely try this at home. Sorry. So I left my banana bread in the fridge overnight just to let it sit a little bit, cool down. As I wake up in the next morning to go check on it, I find this. That's only half a banana bread. No clue where the rest went, but I blame my family. But I mean, that's a compliment. It's really nice and delicious, so it's okay for me. Anyways, I do have to say that my banana bread is more like a cake actually. It's not really a bread. It's you could still put butter or jam on it, I'm sure, but you can also just eat it like that. I might have just put a little too much chocolate in it and blueberries, yeah. So yeah, that's it from me, and thank you so much for watching, and I think I'm gonna continue doing my videos in English because I just know so many people from the US or Canada. Yeah, I just think that's better.